So the KJ Somaiya stands for the founder of this educational trust. And he was a very unique personality because 40, 50, 60 years ago, he was able to combine the counterintuitive areas of creating wealth with living a very Gandhian life. Yeah. Not only was he able to, for example, the illustrative example of this is most of his life he wore nothing but khadi dress. Yeah, so that tells you, and he was an active freedom fighter, but he was also a great entrepreneur. He never worked for any organization. He failed in multiple businesses, but finally succeeded in sugar trading, which he then took to the next level of manufacturing in the, pre-independence days, and created a lot of wealth. But he had the foresight to invest that wealth into education because he realized that education is so critical to actually advancement of society, advancement of the country, and even advancement of individuals as families. And so I want to start by talking about how this institute is unique because it was founded by a founder with those kinds of ethos. And what we try to bring into our education is that legacy and that ethos is never lost out on. Yeah? And I believe that helps in creating great leaders, good citizens, leaders, business leaders with tremendous value system, because that's the ethos that we try to inculcate in here. I would also like to reiterate our mission, because this is something that we constantly validate or use to make sure that what we do is in line with our mission. And the mission is to foster a spirit of inquiry. So I would also probably say here that we're not going to just teach, we are going to facilitate and make sure that your ability to be inquisitive and learn is enhanced. Because at the end of the day, the skills that we teach here will become redundant in 6 months after you get into a job. But the ability and the learning to learn, which is going to be a very important part that we will impart here, is something that's going to help you lifelong. There is a number of new ideas that we are working with, which will make sure that you get education which is almost on a daily basis or a weekly basis relevant to what happens in the outside world. We are currently working on models where you will have study groups of 10, and those study groups of 10 will be mentored by a faculty. So even on a daily basis, there are going to be people who are going to help you grow in the 2 years. It'll be hard work, but it'll be a lot of fun. But I can assure you that you will look back in these 2 years and say that this was the best thing that you ever did in your life. Yeah, because it will help you have a great career, help you make a great business leader. Now, you talked about the uniqueness of the MBA program in K J SIM. There are multiple dimensions to it. One is this whole topic of major and minor. And let me talk a little bit about why we are offering majors and minor, and what is the objective and what is the value for the students who come here. So we believe that the first year of your MBA is a foundation year. This is in the first year, you learn a lot of subjects that are essentially a prerequisite for you to be a good business leader. This might range from understanding finance to understanding the nuances of, let's say, HR, to marketing, to even technologies, whether it is AI, ML, because I believe in today's world, if you are doing an MBA and if you don't understand the power of some of these technologies, you might end up not being as effective when you get into a job. So that's the first year is the foundation year, when you get a solid grounding on some of the basic principles of management that does not change. Okay. In the second year, we offer the students the option to specialize. And this specialization really depends on what kind of a career do you want and which segment of a market are you aspiring to have a career. For example, if you are someone who aspires to be in the financial industry, we offer a major in finance. Now, if you want to be in marketing, there is a major in marketing. If you want to really be specialized in human resources, that's an option. So we have five majors, yeah, which is finance, marketing, operations, HR, and data science. Okay, so those are the five majors that we are offering, and this allows you to specialize and focus and develop your competence according to your desire to be in which segment of the market you want to start your career in. We also offer minor. Now, what are minors? Minors are subjects that complement and strengthen your major or your concentration or where you want to focus on. And let me give you an example. For example, you want to major in HR. Okay. Now, you can major in HR, but today, when you get out into the market, any HR person needs to have tremendous quantitative skills and business analytic skills, because most organizations are also looking at how HR people can bring insights into their organization, into the HR policies by using analytics as a very important tool. So if you're doing HR major and you have business analytics as a minor, chances are that when you get out into the market, you have a much greater choice of jobs, and more importantly, your career growth probably will get accelerated because you have this unique combination of understanding HR and also understanding analytics. So a number of examples like that. The same thing applies to, like, example, another example would be marketing. Now, you want to be a marketeer today, I think data science is very important. You need to understand the power of IoTs, the power of AI, ML, blockchain, what it can do to your marketing program. So this is how you look at minors as subjects that will complement and strengthen your major. So that's the unique program that we offer. These are very unique, targeted kind of programs that we have. Let me talk about the sports management program. Look, sports is a big industry globally and in India. Just to give you the size of the industry, I think the last estimate, sports management industry globally is about $360 billion, and it is expected to kind of reach about $700 billion, almost double by 2026. Similarly, in India, it's no small number either. Already, it's about $26 billion in the most recent estimate in 2020, 2021. But what's more exciting is that this is going to reach about $100 billion by 2026. So it's a huge market segment. And if you look at sports management, there are a number of different aspects of sports management or sports where management plays a very critical role, whether you're conducting an IPL program to if you have a company that is selling sports equipment, to if you're somebody who is managing a sports facility. All of this is about management. So what the sports management program really does is to ground you in the fundamentals of management, but also make you understand how is it relevant to the sports industry through very active participation of faculties who come with experience of having done this, either as sports persons or sports managers in any of these organizations. So what it helps the student is that they go out grounded well in the fundamentals of management, but also knowing very well how can it be applied and what is unique about the sports field and how do I need to apply this in the sports management opportunities, which are increasing almost on a daily basis. So that's about sports management. Very, very similar kind of approach with the healthcare management. As you rightly pointed out, after the COVID, the whole focus on healthcare and has increased quite substantially. And if you look at the number of investments that have been made in healthcare in India by private enterprises, there are a large number of corporates who have seen the opportunity gap in providing good healthcare facility has increased quite substantially. Now, very similar to sports, this also runs on the fundamental principles of management, but you need to have people who really understand healthcare and the nuances of healthcare. Because, for example, just to give you a very simple example, how you look at and how you treat a customer in healthcare is going to be very different from how you treat a customer in maybe some of the other businesses. So there is a number of nuances that, again, we bring to the table. KJ SIM is also blessed with the fact that within our trust, we actually have a hospital facility, we have a medical school, we have a physiotherapy facility. So we are able to leverage, we work very closely with the sister institutions. So the students who come here are not just learning some theory inside a classroom. They actually get to see this physically happening in our sister institutions with whom we partner in order to impart this particular program. So our 3-year MBA is what we call as a part-time MBA. These are for working professionals who at a certain stage of their career have realized the value of obtaining a degree in business, which will help them to kind of overcome maybe the glass ceiling or the barrier that they may have reached in their career. So it's actually working professionals who don't quit their jobs, but who enroll for this program, and they have generally classes, online classes during certain days in the week, in the evening, which they can conveniently take after their work is over, and they would have, in class, teaching happening over the weekend on Saturdays and Sundays. And it's a 3-year program. It essentially covers almost every topic that a regular MBA student takes in the class, in the regular MBA program, but it is done over a 3-year period because of the constraint that they are currently employed. Now, this program certainly does not offer any placement services, but in our experience, if we and this program has been conducted for a number of years, we have some alumni who have done this program who are now, CEOs who are in regional roles in big multinational corporations. So we know that although we don't offer the placement, this program really meets its objective of helping those people who are in organizations who really can use the management education to up their career even within their organization. The second program that we have is Executive MBA. Now, this is a program where it's a kind of a full-time program for working professionals, but they actually, so because it's full-time, it's not possible to kind of be in the job and do this. So most of our students are those who, after having worked for 5 to 10 years, quit their jobs and take this program, and hope that because of the MBA degree, they are able to really, make a step change in their career. And our past records also prove that this program also really meets its objective. ASCSB, by the way, is an accreditation, and there are only about 5.5% of the B schools globally who have ASCSB accreditation. And in India, as of now, there are only 23 business schools that have this accreditation. So KJ SIM is one of the 23 business schools in India which have this accreditation. So it's a great kind of a milestone that we have been able to achieve over the last few years. Now, what does it bring to the table? It brings this accreditation essentially is a standardization of various approaches over 9 different areas, from being able to set a strategy and a strategic plan over the next 5-year time frame and being able to follow that through, to including aspects like assurance of learning. Very, very important aspect of the AACSB accreditation is this whole concept of assurance of learning, which we measure both directly, and from now on we will also start measuring it indirectly. In other words, when a student leaves KJ SIM, we are still going to follow through with them and maybe their supervisors, their organization, to understand how has our program been. Has it really helped them to integrate them? How our students hit the road on day one, so to speak? Those are the elements that AACSB brings in our in the way that we provide education. The second aspect that AACSB has brought into this organization is the culture of research, and that's extremely important. Generally, business schools in India didn't have a culture of research, and I think over the last maybe a decade or so, many of them are actively pursuing it. And it's important to bring this dimension of research because that enables you to easily understand what's happening out there in the market through your research and bring that into the classroom. So we are making what we teach very relevant to the market through the research process. Yeah. The third dimension of AACSB is actually the assessment of impact, and assessment impact at the societal level is a very important component. So anything that we do, any activity that happens here in KJ SIM, we are really looking at it in terms of what is the impact that it is having on the student, and what is the impact consequently it is having on the society, on the community, on the organization that they work with. So I would say broadly, these are 3 or 4 key elements that AACSB has brought in. It has been, getting the accreditation has been a huge cultural change for us. We are now in the next 5-year process as we kind of hardwire the requirements of AACSB into our DNA, into our daily life, into our processes, whether it is teaching or how a student gets admitted here and all the way down to placement. So that's the value of AACSB. So just to reiterate, we are one of the 23 business schools. It's going to be a tremendous value to the students because we really, under this accreditation, have to constantly monitor and make sure that what we teach is really having an impact, and you are learning, and not just you're learning, you are able to then, through that learning, contribute to the society. We are in a lovely campus here in Mumbai. I assure you, students, when you walk into KJ SIM or the Somaiya Vidyavihar campus, which is set in a beautiful wooded piece of land, you will be really surprised that such a place exists in the middle of Mumbai. So it's a beautiful campus. We have number of added advantage of clean air when the particle pollution outside is very high. We know specifically within the campus it is much lower. So there is also this advantage, which is a huge tangible advantage in today in many cities like Mumbai and Delhi. We do have an hostel accommodation, which can accommodate about 1,000 people. But it is not just a KJ SIM facility. It is also, for the other institutions in the campus, such as the engineering college, etc. But at the time of applying, we encourage all of you to actually make a very specific statement that you would require hostel accommodation, and then you will have a better chance of getting hostel accommodation. Alumni Association is a very, very active association with membership of more than 15,000 past students who spread out across the world, and who are in very, very senior positions in a number of organizations. Yeah. Um, Now, the benefit of, and we invest quite a bit into alumni meets, when senior faculty go to any country or even any city, we make sure that we meet the alumni. Alumni also give back quite a bit to the institute. For example, there would be a lot of alumni involved in actually interviewing students, and this is great, because as alumni you have a sense of pride about the standards and quality that you want to keep, and hence alumni contributing to even the admission process is a great example of how this community is still very closely kind of associated with the institute. They come and take classes. Many of them provide industry experience. So they come in and talk about how does the theory that the professor is teaching really pan out into the real life. So you get to really understand from the fact, from the alumni, real life examples of how management is practiced. The third benefit is that we leverage alumni also for a lot of placement activity. In fact, we have a mentor program where many alumni are actually mentors of students, particularly final year students, to help them prepare for interviews, to help them navigate this whole process of being placed, whether it is group discussion, whether it is personal interviews. So the role that alumni plays in ensuring that the students coming out of this place really are of high quality cannot be underscored. Placements at K J SIM, very happy to say that has been consistently 100% over the last at least 5 years, and maybe more than 5 years. And mind you, the number of students who come out of this institute is not 50 or 100. We have about 600 odd students coming out every year from this institute. And so ensuring that all of them are placed is indeed quite a commendable job, and it is a reflection of the kind of the education that is imparted here and how well students are prepared for the real world. So yeah, it is 100%. We have a number of marquee companies that come to us for hiring on a regular basis. Most of the big companies like Infosys to TCS to ENY to Capgemini, Gartner, quite a few of them. Yeah. Summer internships that are offered for most of our students, and this is regular feature of summer internship happens with companies like Bajaj, Fineserv, Cisco, ENY, Tata Capital, Dabur, the Gartner, Morgan Stanley. They are regular marquee companies who come here and hire our students for internship. So the current average salary from K J SIM is 12.5 lakhs per annum. The number of companies that have come in to hire our students is about 240.